Here's Carl. Morning, Carl.
Hey. Good morning. How y'all doing?
We're doing well, thank you. And you?
Oh, good. I'm fine. I'm doing fine.
Good.
Appreciate it.
We appreciate you being here, Carl. I'm Russell. Very nice to meet you.
My name's Megan.
Oh, hey, Russell. Hey, Megan.
Hey.
Good. I see Brian there. How you doing, Brian?
Yeah,
Great to meet you, Carl. Yeah.
All
so
right.
we will begin in just less than a minute, probably. So.
Okay. Yeah, I see there's a number of people that have joined here, so.
Yes, and people do join us. They keep coming on normally, so. It's Sunday morning, so people do not have to be on time Sunday morning.
They move a little bit slower, I think, anyway,
Yes,
on Sunday morning, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so it is the bottom of the hour. It is 10:30. So yes, I am going to welcome everyone, and I do welcome you all today to our Sunday morning coffee house. My name is Megan Moore, and I'm co-founder of the Center for Functional Nutrition. And our mission is to better people's lives and to be a force for good in the world. And we are very excited about the coffee house that we created, end of March, beginning of April. It certainly added so much to our lives and to the lives of many others. So I'm going to hand the coffee house over to Brian Mariani, and he will introduce our guest to you all this morning. Brian?
Yes, thank you, Megan. And great to be here with all of you today. It's an absolute beautiful day here in South Hadley, and hopefully any way it looks for wherever you are around the country, it's beautiful where you are. So welcome to our coffee house. We are well, I'm personally very excited, and I'm sure you will all get there as we get started. We have a very, very cool guest today. Someone that has come into my life recently, and Carl, who you can see. Maybe Carl, give us all a wave so people know it's you. There he is, Carl. Thank you. Hey. So Carl is a master Reiki since 2000. And he has a very interesting story. I don't want to tell too much of it, but he has been working with people all around the country since then in a very unique and powerful way in terms of health and transformational work that he does. So again, I'm going to let him tell his story, because when he shared that with me, it actually moved me so much that I wanted to spend some professional time with Carl. And I would say in about less than 20 minutes, I had an experience with Carl that I've never had in any kind of professional setting in my entire life. It was profound. So I'm very grateful to you, Carl, and I'm excited for what you'll share with everyone here today. So maybe just, to start out, who are you, and why do you do the work that you do?
Okay. Well, thank you, Brian. It was great talking to you too, and that was quite a good session we had too. And I have to say that when I spoke with you, Brian, that was really kind of a textbook, typical 20, 30-minute phone session that I have with most people all over the country. So basically what happened to you happens to a lot of folks, pretty consistently. The story is back up, about 25 years or so, back in 1996, I became an ordained minister. And a lot of folks who are ministers will say they became ministers because they got a calling. I literally got a phone call. And it was from this community church that I was attending at the time. And they just simply called me and said, we think you'd be a great minister, particularly for outreach and, type of things outside the church. And Would like to have you attend a workshop of trainings for the next month. Are you available? Does this sound like something you want to do? I said, sure. So that's what I did, and became a minister. And then about a year or two later, I started doing weddings for people as a wedding officiant. About that same year, I started kind of getting involved in the New Age movement a little bit, you know, and hanging out with psychics and healers and finding out about this whole healing thing. It had never crossed my mind before. But one person approached me and said, you know, you should get into Reiki. You would seriously be a great Reiki healer. You should look into it and do it. Well, by the, I'd say, I think it was March of the year 2000, I'd gone through all the steps of Reiki level 1 and 2 and became a Reiki Master Teacher in March of 2000. And so that for the next several years, till about 2007, I trained quite a lot of Reiki students and did a lot of Reiki healings. Everything was all about Reiki, doing it the Reiki way for healing people. And to the extent where I had moved into an apartment that happened to house, I'm in the Minneapolis, St. Paul, Twin Cities area here in Minnesota. But this apartment building happened to house about a dozen to 20 of the Minnesota Vikings football players. And got to know several of them fairly well. And one guy in particular, he was actually on the bench due to some really severe torn ligaments and so on his left knee from playing the game. And he was not expected to play the game for perhaps 2 seasons, definitely 1. His injuries were so severe. And so we were trying to get together for me to do a Reiki session on him live, you know, with the hands on, the whole thing. And our schedules just never synced up. So finally I said, look, I can do this remotely, you know, just hang out, and sometime today I'll just do a Reiki session on you, you know, through spirit, through meditation, you know, and you know, and then just let me know what you feel, how it went, you know. He agreed to that, and so I did, and I started going into the meditation. And if you're familiar with Reiki, if you're going to do a distance healing or remote healing, there's a system of going through all the symbols and drawing the symbols, and one in particular where you draw the symbols. I started doing this, you know, usual Reiki ritual. And before I'm done doing the Reiki ritual kind of thing, the next thing I know is that in meditation, I am suddenly inside this guy's body. I mean, that sounds really far out, but this is what I tell you, to this very day, this is what I saw, is that I was inside his knee, and I saw the torn cartilage. I saw a tremendous amount of scar tissue. I saw inflamed tissue. I saw erratic blood flow. I was aware of nerve damage. All these things I saw as if a little teeny tiny surgeon dropped into his knee, you know, like that old movie Fantastic Voyage, you know, or whatever. But I was like this little bitty being inside his knee, and I actually saw it like I was seeing blood and muscle and the whole thing, you know. And then at the same time, the best way I can describe it, and being a minister, this is my perception of it, but the best way I can describe it is that I saw the hand of Christ come in and start fusing together the torn cartilage, and the scar tissue just dissipated, went off into the ethers. The blood flow was regulated. What was brilliant scarlet red inflamed tissue became a healthy pink, and tendons that were likewise inflamed became a healthy off-white color. And I realized that there was this healing going on. Something had happened here, like I was a channel for this divine, I call it the Holy Trinity energy, to come through and heal this man. And so I called him up the next day, and I didn't tell him exactly what happened, you know, because I wasn't really sure what I could say to somebody, you know, how much detail I'd go into. And so I just said, yeah, okay, man, I did the thing. You know, let me know what happens, you know, how things are, and we'll just keep in touch. I'll see you in the hallway, you know, whatever. We live in the same building. So I said, yeah, okay, no problem, cool. And it was about a week and a half, 2 weeks later, when he contacted me, he called me, and he said, Carl, what did you do? What happened, man? What did you do? He said that the team physician, the physical therapists on the team doctor, the coach, everybody my teammates, these are the Minnesota Vikings, you know, pro football players, right? Get that in your mind. All these guys are scratching their heads going, what happened to you, man? What? This is amazing. What happened? Long story short, he wasn't back in the game in 1 season or 2 seasons. He was back in the game in 2 to 3 weeks. Everything was back to normal, just like that. And so since then, I went and I spoke to one of my New Age psychic friends, you know, about this experience. And they said, oh, that's called medical intuitive. You've been given the gift of medical intuition. And then I speak to my religious friends, you know, people in the Christian church and so on, who are more, you know, charismatic, I suppose you'd say. And they put together the moniker of Holistic Intercessor. So, you know, depending on what you want to call it, you can call it one of 2 things, but it's medical intuitive. And so since then, Reiki has kind of gone off the wayside. You know, I really don't do or teach or anything about Reiki anymore since that time, 2007. I've begun to get, by word of mouth, people contacting me and so on to get this medical intuitive session done. And I do it by phone. And like what happened with you, Brian, is that, you know, same kind of thing. I ask people to tell me the one thing that's on their mind, the one thing that they would like to have addressed, you know, a sore elbow, a chronic condition, whatever, anything that has to do with the body or mind, you know, or psychology or emotional things, whatever, all this applies. Just tell me the one thing. And then I go into a meditation and I begin to see that one thing, but every time I see where that one thing came from, what that root cause is. A lot of times it's in childhood, you know, or something that happened, you know, and then it has these extra layers to the onion, you know, you can say, that occur. And I see all that in the body. And when it's a mental sort of thing, I see the brain and I see synapses, you know, that don't quite connect in metal, you know, in brain neurons and so on. Now, I haven't had any medical training. So when I explain what I'm seeing to people, I'm just trying to put it together in my own layman's terms, you know, like, well, there's this pink thing that connects to the red thing and it's in, you know, or whatever. And I said, I'm getting the information that it's your spleen. I'm feeling like it's called the gallbladder. I'm feeling like it's because of the liver, you know, so things like that. So whatever information I get that's on a medical level comes to me from God, comes to me from the Spirit. And it just comes out, you know, and I just start relaying it. Now, in the meantime, I've been doing sessions too, about once a month with a rather gifted psychic here in the Twin Cities. And perhaps you folks out there have heard of her, Echo Bodine. She's written a number of books basically on ghost busting and spiritual things like that. We've become really good friends. And so at her center, which because of COVID recently closed, but for the last, 4 or 5 years, I've been at her center once a month, every other, you know, third Saturday of the month, basically. I've been there doing live across the table readings for people. And in those situations, I have a pad of paper and I just start doing this automatic writing of what I'm getting in the meditation. Now, every time, whether I'm person to person with you, writing it on paper, or if I'm talking to you on the phone, I get that information. I witness where it came from and I explain that to you. I get then the sense, very profound sense, that a healing had occurred, just like that football player where the hand of Christ came in and started fusing things together. I get the information that, okay, blood flow is being regulated, blood pressure is coming down, inflammation's coming down, whatever the case is. And I relay that to you, that a healing has occurred. And then after that, I always get some suggestions that for you to do that would enable you to maintain the healing that had just occurred. You know, and I kind of liken it to when Jesus was doing healings. For example, he would make the blind man see because he spit into the dirt and became mud. He put the mud over his eyes, you know, and then he told the guy, "Now go wash your eyes out in that fountain, you know, that everybody's so crazy about, you know, where the angel comes in and stirs up water. Go to that fountain and wash the mud off your eyes, and then you'll be able to see." So it's almost like there's a couple of steps to the healing. It's not just me telling you you got healed. It's about how, okay, for this to continue and for you to really have it, it could be anything. And it's always unique to everybody's individual chemistry and individual life experience. It could be anything from stop drinking coffee and drink green tea instead. It could be, you know, like Brian, you know, a shot of red cider vinegar with water every day, you know, and a neti pot or whatever it was. But some things that are very specific to you. Because, I mean, God bless the medical profession. We need doctors. We need prescriptions. We need things like that, really. However, it's limited because a lot of that is a blanket explanation or a blanket cure. A lot of times it works. But if it doesn't, it's because you as an individual have a very unique body chemistry. You have a very unique life experience. You have a very unique mentality. Everything about you is 100% its own recipe. And so likewise, anything that needs to be adjusted for you to bring you relief, to bring you freedom, is a unique recipe too. So sometimes the overall recipe that everybody else uses may not work for you in particular. So that's where this comes in. That's basically what I do.
Yeah, thank you, Carl. It's an inspiring story, and yeah, you know, I can share from my own personal experience that, again, I reached out to Carl. I said one symptom that I had, and we don't know each other at all. I mean, Carl knows nothing about me, and I actually wanted to put him to the test, you know, because at the Center for Functional Nutrition, we take a really scientific approach to nutrition and to healing. And we're basically always just looking at science and data and all of that. So this world to me is, I've never experienced or never been a part of it. I'm getting into it and I'm loving it. And I see that it's really allowing us, you know, to be more comprehensive in what we can share with our community. So that's really exciting. But truthfully, I mean, what happened in our session in a few minutes, you know, when Carl spoke to his ability to speak in these medical terms, I mean, he was talking about areas of my body in the most explicit, technical, medical terms I've literally ever heard. It was amazing. And I've been on protocol with everything that you shared with me, and it's been wonderful. So maybe maybe for everyone here, you could give like kind of two things. One, what was your background before kind of all that transitioned into the more, you know, holistic field? And then kind of to finish that, what's your, what inspires you to continue to do this work?
Well, background, basically, there was the ministry that I got involved in the mid-90s there with, then it began to get into the New Age movement interest and so on. Part of that was I took on studying basically all the religions of the world to find out what truth is. You know, I was basically a truth seeker. And the culmination of all those things, a lot of these religions I found actually had me stop when I would study them, and I would get to a point, and every religion is like this, but at some point you study a religion and you get to a point where the human ego comes into play with rules and rituals and reasons and interpretations and so on, you know, and even Christianity is like this. I mean, all religions of the world have a point where it gets to human ego interpretation and authority, you know, sort of thing. So I always try to get past that and just get at, well, what's the fundamental truth? And what led me to that, and then with the experience between the ministry and studying religions, being a Christian myself anyhow, and then these experiences with the medical, intuitive, and even Reiki too, is the realization that because each one of us scientifically has a different DNA code, that's one thing. But it's also a fact, as I've been discovering time after time, is that each one of us, because of our life experiences, we have cellular memories. So things that happen to us in our life much of that is stored in the very cells of our body. So that affects what we look like, how many wrinkles we have on our face, or gray hairs, or whatever, and so on, and how we interpret things mentally. So all of that has a cellular memory too. That's part of your recipe. So all those things were my background leading up to where I could understand this information.
Hey, Carl, are you there?
Russell,
Yeah.
Carl's on mute.
Oh, there we go.
There you
Somehow
go.
I lost
He's
connection
back.
there for a second. Okay.
No worries.
So anyway, everybody has a unique recipe, and that's something I've gathered from the information given to me by the Holy Trinity, by God. And so what keeps me going is that because the divine is infinite and our souls are infinite, and so each experience that we have in a lifetime, is whatever it may be, adds to this infinite story. I'm utterly fascinated by hearing from everybody. Wouldn't it be cool if everybody in the country contacted me? And then all these stories, all these experiences that are unique to every single person everywhere, to be tuned into that story and find out what their recipe is. That's what keeps me going. That's what excites me when I get contacted by somebody for a healing session, is that I'm just kind of jazzed about hearing their story, and then hearing how, when they're talking to me, they're open to the divine coming through and making a little change in there that is really, for the divine, a very simple thing, but it's just a matter of the asking for it that you get it. And so that's what keeps me going every time. That's why I always pick up the phone. Usually when I get a number I don't recognize, I always pick it up. If somebody texts me, I respond, because I'm drawn to hear the story and perhaps be part of it. That's what keeps me going.
Well, Carl, that is it's an inspiring message. Certainly not one you hear every day. Most people see a number they don't recognize and they get angry and they, try to delete it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us understand intuitively, or maybe we want to understand, that if it were possible that we could ask and receive, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I think what happens for a lot of us, we kind of have that, or hopefully a lot of people have that as a child, and then you go through this life experience where things happen and that kind of gets more and more diminished. And that's why I'm really excited about this connection with you, and the connection we're building with great like minds who have these types of skill sets, because even though I have been blessed with this great intelligence of nutrition, and Russell is my dad, and 40 years of all of that, that is a huge part of the puzzle. Absolutely. But the ability to get into the energetics, however we all interpret that, is completely up to us. But just to be open to it, and to have someone like you that can bring it into alignment and just laser it, it's powerful. And I'm really grateful for you. And thank you for delivering what you did today. That was great.
Oh, sure. Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. So for anyone who's on the call, we always love to open it up. And if you have a question for Carl or a comment, give me a wave, raise your hand. Yes, one of my other new best friends, Mr. J, go for it.
How do you reach Carl?
We've got his information in the email that we sent out, but I'd be more than happy to send that direct to you, Jay. Would that work for you, Carl? Can I share your information?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, sure. And I'd probably add, it's probably best to contact me by way of either email or text, because, fairly often I'm already on the phone, so I may not be able to answer the phone if you call. But if you shoot me a text, I'll get back to you more immediately. Or an
Yeah,
email.
I
can confirm that as well. Does that work for you, Jay?
Right. Yeah.
sure does. And I might add that I've done energy healing. Now, I don't do it through meditation. I do it through opening up and letting the spirit of the universe flow through me into my hands. So
Yeah.
you're resonating with every word you said.
I'm excited for you two to meet, and
Good.
everyone. Jay's going to be sharing with our community. We're setting that up, so we're excited for that, Jay. Thank you for being here and for your commenting. We appreciate it.
So thank you for the information. That was really exciting.
Yeah. I think I saw Pat
good.
Hanbury with a hand. Yeah, go for it.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry I popped on late, but yeah.
Hi,
Hiking.
Pat.
Hi, Carl. You are, this is the universe, and God, the spirit is bringing you to me at this time. So I will be contacting you for sure, because I've got a big medical thing coming up on Tuesday. So I would love to hear what,
just a couple of days.
Yes, it's a big thing with my cardiologist. So I would love to get in contact with you and see what we can do.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what this is all about.
Thank you
so
so
much, Pat.
Yeah.
Awesome. Very cool. I'm looking across the board here. Is there anyone else with a hand raised?
Me, Brian.
Oh, yeah, sure. Sorry, go ahead.
I think that, hi, Carl. What I find really intriguing is how you started. And that was in response to a call. I think you picked up the phone and you answered it, and I think that that's such a lesson or a message to us all, that when you hear a call, whether it's a real call, it could be an actual telephone call, it could be, you're sitting there quietly and it's like, oh, what was that? Things do filter in. And to respond and then listen to your response. And depending on where you are, responding or not, but I guess, and I don't quite understand this, but I guess that becomes part of your story. And somewhere in there, it becomes part, maybe, I don't know, part of your cellular memory.
Right.
So I just wanted to say that. And then I also wanted to say that I love to walk. For me, I've walked my entire life. When that's how Brian and I saw the world together. We went for walks. That's what we did all the time. Whether or not he enjoyed it. But I did watch I went for that winter walk with you. And I absolutely loved it because right after that, I went for a walk and I started to sing. And I sang to what was just available to me as I walked. It was the trees, it was the stump, it was to our dog Marley, it was to a leaf that was there. But it was a wonderful experience. And that really did come out of taking that winter walk with you. So I just wanted to share that with you.
Oh, that's brilliant. Beethoven, that's how he wrote, Beethoven, the composer.
Yeah, I don't know him, but I know him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, we go way back. No, but that's how he gained his inspiration for most all of his pieces of music, is that he always used to take walks in the country. And inspiration is something that just hits us, either like with the proverbial 2x4 upside the head, or it's a little trickle, a little nudge, perhaps. And I always felt and believe that inspiration is something that comes from God. because God's given us a couple of things in this life. He's given us free will. We always have the power to choose, yes or no, go left or right, you know. And he's also given us the gifts of inspiration. So it's just a matter of receiving and acting upon, I suppose, that inspiration. So if you get this little piece of something good that seems to, as I say, if it came out of left field, it came from God, you know. And if you've had that experience, you might know what I'm talking about. If it's something that seems really off the wall but good, you know, it came from the divine. I can darn near guarantee you. But that's one thing to keep an open mind is whatever inspiration comes to you. And for you, Megan, you know, it was about singing while walking in the woods, you know, and that was quite an experience for you, as I can tell. You know, that seemed to have changed your outlook, your countenance, everything about you too. You know, something was activated. So inspiration is really something to listen to, you know, to act upon, I think.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Megan, for sharing. And Carl, thank you for your time. I think it's pretty clear your message resonated, and you know, that's why we do this. You know, our mission, as Megan shared, is to better people's lives, be a force for good in the world. And especially now, the more we're partnering and locking arms together around good messages, inspiration, we just want to deliver that and be conduits for that type of information, that type of energy. And just very, very grateful to have you with us and to be able to share in this work together. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm very grateful too. I'm glad we met as we did there, Brian. So very happy about that. Thank you. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll definitely be hearing from Carl again. You know, we're in partnership now, so I'm sure we'll have him back. But in the spirit of what Megan shared and what Carl shared at the end in terms of inspiration and music, I want to transition to what we call the good news portion of our coffee house. And I'm absolutely excited to go to one of our dear friends out on Cape Cod, Mr. Tom Tracy. And he is going to deliver some inspiration via music for all of us this morning. So Tom, take it away.
All right. Thanks, Brian. I'm glad you called it the good news portion, and fortunately I've chosen an uplifting song, but a song that also has definitely a deeper meaning that's very relevant today. It was written back in the 60s, and of course it had relevance back then, but I'm not sure how many people actually recognized it, but certainly it does today. I need to switch my chair so I can perform this for you, so if you give me a minute, I'll be right back with you.
Thank you, Tom.
It's Facebook.
So a couple of, how many weeks ago was it, Russell, when I did the first one? It was quite a while ago.
Yeah, it was probably 8 weeks ago, Carl. You were one of our first guests.
Oh. So I did a song for those of you, and I think some of you may have remembered it or might have been there during that time. And it was an original song, and it was the first time I did it. It was a world premiere, and so that was a lot of fun. And then somebody mentioned that they'd like to have me back again. I don't remember who it was, and somehow we got on subject of other songs, and a song came up, and I think I said, well, there's a song that I do a lot. And when I play it outside, the birds all start singing along with me, and it's the song Blackbird, ironically. So yeah, there you go. So I thought I would do that this week, and the significance is, of course, the Black Lives Matter movement that's taking place. If you listen to the lyrics of Blackbird, you'll get it. You know, if you haven't really made that connection between what Paul was saying back then. So anyway, as a performer, I've done this song many, many times since especially when I started playing solo. And, you know, it was just one of those songs that was one of my favorites. So here we go. Here's Blackbird. Let's see, I got to get my hands all unsweaty. All right. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to arrive. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird fly. Blackbird, won't you fly into the light of the dark black night? Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see. All your life, 'cause you were only waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird fly. Blackbird, won't you fly into the light of a dark black night? You were only waiting for this moment to arrive. You were only waiting for this moment to arrive. You were only waiting for this moment to arrive. Ooh.
Very nice.
Wow.
Oh,
Tom,
Just unmuted everybody so that you could hear the response. All right, Todd, that was awesome.
Tom, that was absolutely inspired. My energy is like, you just absolutely, you were in alignment with your best, whatever you got, my friend. That was just, I would love everyone to have witnessed, seen you performing that song and heard you perform it. It was, I feel totally honored to have been here live. That was, thank you very, very much.
Thanks so much, Brian. Really appreciate that. Glad I could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Tom, you are part of the Coffee House family, and we'll have you back again. And to everyone who is with us this morning, thank you for partnering in this work with us. We really believe in it, and we're very, very grateful for all of you. We're doing something great. So everyone unmute. Have a great Sunday, everybody.
Thanks.
Thank you, Carl. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Carl. Thank you.
Thanks,
Carl.
everybody,
Carl.
for being here.
Brian, Megan, Russell.
And we
Hi,
will
Pat.
get Carl's information
Pat.
to everybody, I promise.
Thank you so much. It was wonderful.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful day.
Have a beautiful day. Thank you.
Thank you.